Hi, I'm Ken Kessler, and welcome to the Sounds of Christmas podcast. If you're new to this podcast, I want to start by saying thanks for joining us. If you're not new, welcome back. Either way, I'm glad you're here. Now, to avoid any confusion, I want to say that there won't be any music played here. This is a place for conversation. I'll talk about Christmas music and some related topics, sometimes by myself and sometimes with guests. If you're looking for music, just go to soundsofchristmas.com and click on the tree or the player on the front page, or on the Listen Now page. We play the best variety of Christmas music all year long. Well, except in October, when we play the best variety of Halloween music. A while back on this podcast, I promised to start sharing some of the interviews from the Sounds of Christmas. I did a behind the music kind of thing for one season back in 2011. Playing interviews on the station didn't work so well as most listeners just wanted to hear music. So that idea went away, and none of those interviews have been heard since then, until now. The first one that I'm sharing is from Little Feat's Paul Barrere, who passed away from liver cancer just a couple years ago. For those who don't know, Paul was a member of the band Little Feat. He was a singer, guitarist, and songwriter. When not with Little Feat, he had performed at one time or another with Carly Simon, Taj Mahal, Robert Palmer, Nicolette Larson, and Bob Dylan, just to name a few. I could go on and on about Paul's musical accomplishments and contributions, and I've no doubt some listening to the podcast think I probably should. But we focus on Christmas music here, and this 10-year-old interview was about two singles Paul had been a part of. One for the charitable organization Safety Harbor Kids, and one for Sweet Relief's Musicians Fund. Safety Harbor Kids supports orphans and homeless children's college, career, and art programs. Paul contributed his version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town to a compilation for the charity, which was called Safety Harbor Kids Holiday Collection, and it also featured tracks from Sheila E., Jackson Browne, and Billy Idol, just to name a few. I believe this album is still available. Sweet Relief Musicians Fund provides financial assistance to all types of career musicians and music industry workers who are struggling to make ends meet while facing illness, disability, or age-related problems. The compilation that Paul was part of for Sweet Relief was actually one that I helped put together, and it was called The Sounds of Christmas Volume 2. Paul's contribution was a track called Santa's Gotta Get Some, which was originally released as a single by Little Feat, and was then attributed to a group called the North Pole All-Stars. This album is no longer available, and I don't know if the current lineup of Little Feat has any plans to re-release the song. Anyway, here's my conversation from 2011 with Paul Barrere. Hi, Paul. Thanks for joining us, and Merry Christmas to you.
And Merry Christmas to you too, Kim. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Now, how did you get involved with the Safety Harbor Kids organization?
It's actually myself and Fred Tackett on that record. And Fred and I do an acoustic duet tours when Little Feat's not working. So his daughter, Petri, is the founder of Safety Harbor Kids, which is inner city kids, just with the mentoring programs, and they teach them music and art, and they just, it's just a wonderful thing, especially around Christmas time.
For anyone that would like to find out a little bit more about them and how you can help, you can visit them at safetyharborkids.org. And you can also find the song that Paul and Fred did, along with an entire album made for Safety Harbor Kids, which also features Christmas songs from Jackson Browne, Billy Idol, and Sheila E., among others. You can find that at all your favorite online retailers. It's a great collection, and it's a terrific cause. And speaking of great causes, you've also been involved with Sweet Relief, the Sweet Relief Musicians Fund, which is an organization that helps out singers and bands and anyone in the music business who, well, let's face it, most do this for the love of music, and that doesn't come with medical or dental, and sometimes you need some help. Now, this personally touched you and the band Little Feat when your friend and bandmate, legendary drummer Richie Hayward, was diagnosed with liver cancer.
Yes, he was, he was having to have lots of treatments and so forth, and he didn't have, health care. So the Sweet Relief people are, they're just wonderful. It's like we never knew about them, but they really help a lot of musicians, not just in Los Angeles, but all over the country. And so when we were thinking, well, what can we do for Richie, to try and raise some funds for his medical costs and so forth. Well, we thought, why not do a song? A gentleman named Steve Krismar in Philadelphia wrote this song, and he sent it out to me, and he said, do you think you can put a little band together and record this, and we'll put it out on iTunes, and whatever comes in, we'll give to his fund at the Sweet Relief. So, we said, no problem. And so Kenny Gradney, the bassist, and myself, we lined up Tony Barnagle, who played drums, and Mike Finnegan, who played keyboards, and Leo Nascentelli played guitar with me, and Teresa James and Deborah Dobson came in and sang backgrounds, and Deborah did some percussion. And then we had the Texicali horns, Joe Sublett, and Daryl Leonard come in and play horns on it. And we decided to call ourselves the North Pole All-Stars. Actually, we wanted to call ourselves the North Pole Dancers, but somebody thought that would be wrong. So, but it was a great thing to do, and so what we decided to do was to since Christmas is such a lovely time of year, it comes around every year. To keep the song out there and raise funds for Sweet Relief to help other musicians, and so that's what we're everybody's kind of signed off on the song, and we're hoping that people will go and download it and what have you, and just keep the ball rolling.
This is an amazing array of talent. You zip through the names, but the groups and the singers and the bands that they have connections with and have played with are just incredible. You've got the Meters and the Robert Cray Band and Bonnie Raitt and Joe Cocker's band, Delbert McClinton and Taj Mahal.
It's pretty cool. I should mention Johnny Lee Schell, who for years played with Bonnie, and he was the engineer, and we used his studio. He donated his studio for it. And, the players are just monsters, to say the least, and they were all just, ready to jump on it and have a good time doing it, and it was, for our man Richie at the time, and now it's going to be for all of our brothers and sisters who need help. It's a shame that we're still in this boat where people need help with healthcare costs, but it's just a fact of life.
Especially for people who are in the music business, it's not a 9-to-5 job. You're not really working for a company or even a boss or anywhere where you're going to even have the option of some kind of healthcare plan.
I know it. Fred and I were doing a show down in Texas in September, and the band that came and opened for us were telling us about what the city of Austin, all the musicians in Austin, do once a year. They have a day where all the bands will get out and play from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. at different locations, whether it's shopping centers, bowling alleys, what have you. And they raise money for a fund down there to help, Austin musicians who don't have health care. I think this, it's a really cool thing when people reach out to help other people, especially in their own line of work and so forth. It kind of it restores my faith in humanity, which sometimes is taxed, to say the least.
You can find out more about Safety Harbor Kids at their website, www.safetyharborkids.org. You can find out more about Sweet Relief through their website, www.sweetrelief.org. And you can check out Little Feat online through their website, www.littlefeat, and feet is FEAT.net. I haven't been able to find an official website for Paul, but you can find out more about him on Little Feat's site too. Thank you for listening and helping this podcast continue to grow. We're on about 24 different podcasting sites now, and since you're listening, you've obviously found us somewhere. But if there's another site you like to use for podcasts, check out our podcast page on our website for the complete list of everywhere that you can listen to the Sounds of Christmas podcast. And the website is www.soundsofchristmas.com. Then just click on the podcast tab. For the Sounds of Christmas station, to listen to the music, including both of Paul's songs, you need to stick with our website or our app in the Google Play Store. If you have comments or suggestions, feel free to reach out to me on social media or through our website. Thanks again, and may you always believe in Santa Claus.